up the newly released Iconic Studios Highlander. And we're also going to be doing a side-by-side with the old sideshow version of the figure. And I think it's a no-brainer. This new one is going to be on top because that one was very, very old. So let's crack this open and see what we got.
I have to say that even though I saw the Highlander series, I actually prefer the show over the movies. I remember the show as well, and the problem with the first movie, well, it was nothing. I mean, as a kid, I thought his voice was kind of weird. I couldn't quite figure out where he was from, but one thing I did like, I think it was the sequel. There was this concept where, I don't know, somehow he became a scientist that saved the world, but he wasn't a scientist in the first one, I don't think. And he developed a protective like cloud cover around the Earth, so it was dark all the time, but it protected the population from the harmful rays of the sun or something like that. And I thought that was an interesting concept, and I wouldn't be surprised if we have to do that eventually. So the box is pretty average here, nothing too special about it. There's a concept drawing of him on the front, close-up face in the background. You got the lightning strike as the cover slip. All right, here's the figure itself. The head sculpt itself is pretty great. I will say that offhand, it seems like maybe the brow is a little too pronounced. There's something going on right there in the between the eyebrows. It looks more like a butt. But great sculpt overall. They got the 5 o'clock shadow thing going. Decent job on the hair. Maybe they could have done a little bit more dimension to it. It's a little flat. The hands are, I mean, they're gloved, so there shouldn't be too much detail, but they're average. And then you've got this long overcoat, and underneath is a leather-like jacket, which it's that type of material that I think is going to fray over time, so be cautious. And then a shirt underneath, and there's another shirt under there. Nope, that's it. And then he's got these, looks like Reebok type sneakers, and they're nicely weathered. And then the jeans, pockets there. And the inside of the coat looks like it's lined. Let's see. Yeah, very nice lining job on there, like a real coat, where you get the outside material that goes a little bit ways in before it gets to the inside lining. Very nicely done. And posability, pretty standard. If anything, slightly above average. It seems like there's a little bit more dexterity than the average figure. Has very good flow. All right, let's see what else we got here. Some extra pegs, of course. Some extra hands. So these hands are all without the glove, except for this one down here, which I imagine is a sword-holding hand. Maybe. No. Too big for that. And then we've got, it looks like, some lightning bolts. Variety of lightning bolts. Different shapes, sizes. And we've got, of course, the sword. And aha, it's made of metal. I love it. And there's good detailing on this as well. Nicely done ivory handle. Yeah, good sculpting on that. And the sheath is nicely done as well, leather-like. And then it stays snugly in there. Some of them are kind of loose. This one, they did a good job with it. Let's get it close here in the detailing there. There we go. So look at that. And granted, you know, they should pay extra attention to the sword. It's the main feature of this figure. Even figures like, you know, Kill Bill, not as much of a focus on the sword as in this film series. So, nicely done. And then we have the base, standard base. And it's got a glossy logo on top here. And that's pretty much it. So let's get this figure set up and do that side by side I was talking about earlier and give you my final thoughts on this. All right, so here he is all set up. And this is, according to the instructions, this is how the lightning bolts are supposed to attach. They just kind of, they wrap around underneath the armpits. I think it looks kind of weird. I'm not going to pose it like that, but it's interesting. It'd been nice if it lit up. That'd be cool. Anyways, I decided to pose it just like the box here, and it's a great looking figure. Let's bring in the old 2005 Sideshow version, and as you can see, no comparison here. In quality of materials, the cut of the materials, the head sculpt especially, yikes. But this is how Sideshow did their figures back then, and this is how a lot of makers were able to get as close to realistic as possible back then. So can't hold it to them too badly. The sword, like the other one, it has some pretty good detailing on the ivory handle, but it is made of plastic, flimsy plastic, so it's hard to break. That's good. This one incorporated some red on the side instead of the gray that the newer one has, but less detail on those shoes as well. And then they went with a whitewashed jean instead of this dark jean, which is more film accurate. The coat is also a thicker material, and as a result it looks oversized and bulky, like a lot of, you know, layering of clothing on figures back then. And this one looks more photorealistic, nicely done. Same things on underneath. You got the jacket underneath with the shirt underneath that. So I will be unloading the old one on eBay for sure. And this one, scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give it a 9.3. Yeah, it really didn't do anything wrong. No big complaints. It didn't wow me, but it satisfied me with what I expected to get. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and see you next time.